What is going on, guys? It is Danny Man, aka Daniel's son, and welcome to this. I've been wanting to talk about this series. This is all about the new series, Invincible. So, welcome to the stream. If you haven't checked out my other videos on the channel, I mean, I got the Godzilla versus Kong review out. I got Mayans episodes review. I got everything. This is all about pop culture. So, of course, I'm going to be reviewing Invincible and other series and other movies. So this was definitely one I definitely wanted to talk about. So I want to welcome everybody. Little burp going on. So welcome to the live stream. Want to make sure we're all good. We're live here. Let me make sure. So Invincible is the new TV series by Robert Kirkman, and it was a comic, so it's based off a comic. And man, I heard about it. I am a big Walking Dead fan, so knowing that I didn't know too much of the series. I just know a little bit here and there. I knew that it was like a superhero, like a really bloody graphic comic that Robert Kirkman seems to always do. And then, The Walking Dead could get so freaking brutal too. So I was definitely looking forward to seeing what Amazon Prime had to offer. So I was absolutely looking forward to the series, and I watched 1 through 3. So just to give you guys a warning, there's going to be spoilers. So if you haven't seen 1 through 3 of Invincible, I would just go watch it and then come back to the stream, and because I'm gonna spoil a little bit, but oh my god, man, this series, holy moly, the first episode really establishes who we need to know, which is Mark, which is Omni Man, which is this superhero kind of society, right? Or superhero centric Earth. So it's pretty much like DC. It's a lot like DC. I would say it's more DC than Marvel in Kirkman's universe. It's more of a Superman that's protecting everybody. There's more. It has like he has a Justice League kind of at his back, and this is a world that have superheroes in it, and they adjusted to it, right? Everybody knows that, okay, that's Omni Man. It's not so far of kind of like a Boku no Hero thing. It's more of a, like, DC level kind of thing, where there's a Batman, there's a Superman, there's a Green Lantern. Like, people know, and they still just kind of try to live their lives, and they look to these heroes to protect them. So we follow Omni Man's son, or Nolan. His name is Nolan in here. We follow his son Mark, and man, it's from getting. I really like Mark, and he's voiced by Stephen Yin, and Stephen Yin is from The Walking Dead, aka Glenn Ray, right? Glenn. And I love Steven. I think Steven, if you've never seen any of his Conan interviews, he's fantastic, or Conan segments with him. I love Steven. Steven is such a likable guy, and I'm so happy he's getting a lot of praise for his film. I need to watch his movie, but he's getting a lot of praise for the film he did recently, and I think he's getting an Oscar nod for Best Actor. I don't know if the Oscars are going on yet or not, but he is fantastic. The stellar cast in this show, man. There's so many names in here, so many names. Here, I'll just read it off, man. I have IBMD, because some of the names I don't remember, the comic book names, but Sandra Oh from was it Grey's Anatomy? She's Debbie. That's Mark's mom. Like I said, Stephen Yen. What's great is his dad Nolan is played by J.K. Simmons, and J.K. Simmons, not like they all do, but J.K. Simmons' voice. But man, does he bring something to the Omni Man character? I'm so glad they casted him on that. Zazie Beetz is in this. Kevin Michael Richardson, which you immediately recognize his voice when you hear him. The one that got me was Walter Goggins. Walter Goggins plays Cecil here, and he's like kind of like the director of making sure the shit does not hit the fan. He has to investigate a murder with all of these super teams, so to speak. We'll get to that in a moment. But I was so shocked that Walter Goggins was voicing Cecil. I didn't even like notice it until you hear a little cracks here and there where like, okay, that's Walter, but like he does a phenomenal job of kind of hiding that we know Walter Goggins kind of voice. Gillian Jacobs. This one's pretty funny. Jason, I was gonna butcher this, Matsukis, which he's in the league. He's a hilarious guy. Another one that knocks it out of the park too is Zachary Quinto. Zachary Quinto plays Robot, and he is phenomenal. That's a great casting choice. I mean, he brings his Spock kind of acting in this, but it works for Robot because Robot is a robot, you know. But going into Invincible, a lot of people are not going to know what this kind of what this is all about. This is a brutal take on this is a twist and turn kind of take, right? Like we think that everything is a-okay. Omni-Man is our Superman. He'll never turn on us and stuff. But at the end of freaking like the episode one is such a great kind of build up to a left field kind of home run ending, and then it leaves you. It reminded me of Game of Thrones. You know, Game of Thrones episode one was good, but what really hooked you was the ending when Bran falls off the walls and he finds out about Jamie and his sister. I can't believe I forgot her name already. Cersei. Cersei. So that hooked you immediately. And Invincible does the same thing, where it's a great episode. You really get established. You get to know these characters. You see how the bond between Mark, his mom, and his dad, and how much he really looks up to his father. And his father is just like this stellar stand-up kind of guy. And man, like I really loved that. I really loved how they really made me feel for this kind of family and feel for uh, this this environment, this world, these people, these characters that were getting introduced, and then the end of that first episode. Holy moly, was it a doozy? So once again, spoilers. I'm going to be talking about spoilers here. I'm actually going to type it out. There's going to be spoilers in this discussion of Invincible. Just to let you guys know. Holy moly, does it freaking hook you at the end of episode one? Because, like I said, like Game of Thrones, at the very end, you see Mark's dad, Nolan, aka Omni Man, just absolutely destroy the whole kind of Justice League kind of team in this world. I really like Darkwing. He kind of reminded me of Batman. You had like a Wonder Woman type. You had like this Pokemon looking fish guy who's supposed to be kind of like Aquaman, and like a Martian Manhunter kind of type. And all these guys, I love how they establish them early on in the episode when they're fighting these like twin clones, these evil villains, and they take them out. You know, Omni Man helps out, and you see that Darkwing almost dies too. And they establish these guys, right? And then at the very end of the episode, they all get summoned. They have this little beacon, and they all get summoned to one little spot, like the Hall of Justice kind of type deal. It's really DC. It's really DC with different kind of characters' names, but it gets crazy. All right, so and the animation looks kind of like a DC animated movie type deal, or even a Harley Quinn anime series, and a little bit of that Marvelness, like the new Spider-Man series. It looks like that. It has that animation with a dash of anime. So anyway, so whoa, so I like how they establish in the beginning, and then at the end when they're all coming together, you see like they're back, like what they do, right? I see them. You see Darkwing or Darkwing. I mean, catch criminals. You see the Woman type discussing kind of like business and global humanity or some crap like that. You see like I like the Martian Manhunter because like before he leaves, he's like chilling with this like orphan kid. And knowing that that orphan kid's never gonna see that guy again is so messed up. You see like Red Dash. Red Dash was cool because he's like a Flash. He's hanging out with his girlfriend, and then all of them coming together. So I love how they established the beginning, and then them really showcasing what they're doing, what they do with their time, until they like have to be summoned to this beacon, and then once they all get together, they're confused, and then freaking Omni Man, I mean, watching episode one and then getting to that ending was intense. It was probably the one of the most brutal scenes I have seen in a very long time. And Robert Kirkman, dude, he could. Just super shocked how Amazon Prime really went for it. I got so much praise because it's brutal. The deaths in that first episode, where Omni Man takes out this AKA kind of this version of Justice League, was insane. The brutality, the violence, the sadness, because you do get a little hint of what they do with their normal lives. And then the way Omni Man, no mercy. I watched the great thing about the series. It's such a rewatch. You could rewatch it multiple times. You know, it's 3 episodes dropped, and I could rewatch all 3 of those episodes again and again and again. I could rewatch the ending of episode one because it's a beautiful disaster. It's a beautiful, wow, just absolutely wow. So it like watching that episode, Omni Man, like you see no hesitation. There is no, there's always a reason for his movements, for his timing. Like he's a Terminator. He is a Terminator, man. So he takes out like the Red Dash, the Flash version of this Kirkman's universe. Like a lot of people in the comments said like he should have stayed back. He should have been like the reinforcement. He should have been the backup for a lot of these guys who are a lot of the members go after Omni Man, and he should have like kind of just stayed back, but he kind of goes full force. He hits him in the face, and Omni Man just catches. It reminded me of Justice League, and we recently just got Snyder Cut Justice League when Superman comes back to life and everybody's going after him. And he's hanging tight, and the Flash is like right behind him, and he's just kind of looking at him. That's exactly what this when Omni Man catches like Red Dash, right? And he just grabs him by the head, and he just starts squeezing him. The thing that was gnarly was, you know, Red or Dash is just like hitting him on the chest fast, and you just see the costume rip. You see Omni Man bleeding from the mouth, but the Dash was in extreme pain, and you got to remember his time is different than ours, so he was feeling every minute. And when that eyeball was starting to pop out, like it reminded me of Glenn's death, so much of Glenn's death, which is funny because Steven Yen is voicing the main character. So that death was gnarly, and he just completely just head's gone, eyes are out. The animation too. So when that death, after that death, the animation just gets better and better and better. It starts becoming like a Naruto versus Sasuke the first time kind of animation, where that animation, you know, here and there was a hit and miss, but there's some beautiful moments in that fight. Kind of goes on to this one. It reminded me of Avatar: The Last Airbender. The action sequences, like it was so beautifully done, and then how he takes out every single member. I thought when he takes out Darkwing, I was like, oh man, because I actually really liked Darkwing in this episode, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. He's kind of like a Batman, and you know, I love me some Batman. And then the way he just gets like it makes sense. He would be taking out like the first ones to go, right? And then you have this other chick who she's kind of like a Kitty Pryde. She's in all green. She kind of like reminds me of Green Man from Charlie Day, but she has like one of the most useful powers where she could just transcend, or things can go through her. But she catches Darkwing, and Omni Man just punches her right in the freaking face. Like I said, there is no hesitation for Omni Man. He had a mission, and he was going to execute it. It was insane. It was probably one of the most beautiful, brutal shit I have ever seen. I mean, you thought Berserk was the founding kind of bloody, depressing kind of thing. This show is not really depressing, honestly. It's so enjoyable, but it can be. And that scene alone is changed the tone so drastically in such a good way. It became a serious contender. So I mean, the first episode goes, the second episode just keeps getting better. You start getting more characters involved. You start liking Mark a lot more. He's starting to. I love how Nolan is teaching Mark, Omni Man, aka Omni Man, is teaching Mark how to use his powers, the explanation, the training, the aftermath of the at the end of that first episode, and the introduction of a demon detective. Like the demon detective looked like Hellboy, straight out looked like Hellboy. I was like, that's so dope, man. He has a trench coat. He has a nice he has a hat. He kind of it had like this Constantine kind of vibe too. So there's so many. So we just start building this world even more, even more, even more. We get introduced to like these kind of Teen Titans kind of group. You get Robot like leading the charge with this new character, this character that gets introduced, Eve, which could be Mark's love interest. You see this race of aliens invade, and then you see how they get their ass kicked. Like Mark, knowing that the superhero gig is not all what it's cracked up to be, so there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of deaths. Like you don't realize that he even tries to save an old woman, and at one point he fails so horribly that he actually makes it worse. Or well, she was gonna die, but her arms gets broken, her legs is all broken, and it's because he tried to save her and he just wasn't careful enough. It's just really realistic, and Kirkman is so good at doing that, right? Like he put a zombie apocalypse in The Walking Dead, and there's so many realistic type moments in there, man. There's so many realistic scenarios that could happen. Like it's a brutal world, The Walking Dead, and then when it comes to superheroes, it's a brutal world, especially when one of your most famous superheroes who are has like you think a clean agenda just to protect you has an ulterior agenda. He's not from Earth. He's from somewhere else, and he is God basically. It's Superman, but evil Superman. But this Omni Man, Nolan is voiced so beautifully by J.K. Simmons is that you kind of don't hate the guy. You see he's an evil bastard. You see that he has tendencies to snap, but he's a family man. You see in the series that he loves his wife, he loves his son. He loves the life he's living. He knows he's all powerful, but yet he's wise. He's very wise, and I think he's calming. He has a calm voice. A lot of people compare him with a Homelander and The Boys, but the problem with that is that Homelander is like he becomes unhinged. Like he showcases that. I'm surprised he hasn't become unhinged for so long, but he really loses it. Where Nolan, he really keeps that shit down, man. He doesn't really lose it. He maybe sometimes with Cecil, but he's very good, especially when he wakes up and they're kind of like insinuating or accusing like him of maybe doing something, knowing more than he should. Of course, he killed him, and he's just trying to like play it dumb, saying like I didn't see him, the lights were out, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But J.K. Simmons has this voice where you just can't hate the guy, right? I mean, you watch Whiplash, you can't hate J.K. Simmons because you just love the way he talks, the way he acts, the way he presents himself. He's so calm. And he does that for this role again, and just kudos to J.K. Simmons, kudos to the team to bring him in, kudos to Amazon to bring this cast in, and he balances it really well with his son Steve. Steven does a fantastic job, as Mark. He sounds like a high schooler. He sounds like I see him as this character Invincible, and then it's crazy because Invincible, you see his costume, and he wanted iconic, right? But then you're like, that costume still doesn't look too iconic. But it's not necessarily the costume; it's the character. And Mark is a he's a normal guy. He's not too nerdy. Where he still gets kind of picked on. That's a little bit still of a trope to set up a romance with Zazie Beetz' character. But he's still like he's just a normal guy. But he's not normal, and I really like the relationship where he wants to prove to his dad that he can do what he does. He wants to make him proud. I like the father and son dynamic, and it's just going to be absolutely heartbreaking when you're going to care when he finds out that his dad did all these crimes, right? And right in the middle is Debbie. the mom, and it was Sandra Oh does a fantastic job too. She's strong. She has two of the, I mean, one of them is probably the strongest hero or just in general person in this world, and his son is right there with him, and she's able to handle herself. Her character is presented as strong. When I say strong, she doesn't take shit. You know, there's one particular scene with her and Mark is learning his powers, and she says you need to go inside, you need to go to sleep, and he just straight up says, "Make me." And then I love the line that she delivers. She goes, does that make you powerful? Does that make you what she says? Does that make you like a man? Does that make you feel good that you're more powerful than me and this and that? Like she kind of just tells it out. She rips at Mark, but yet she loves him, embraces him, and just has a way of just really dealing with these two beings. You know, she's a strong character in her own right, and I think they all balance out. She's worried about Omni Man sometimes, but then she goes and she jokes, and her jokes are really funny too. Like, man, he's in another world. That's like another Wednesday, you know. I definitely am just digging the writing in this, the dialogue, the comedy in this, the introduction to these characters, seeing a lot of the different powers. I mean, you've seen this before in a lot of different media. You know, you've seen the similar powers. I mean, look at this roster, man. Look at this roster. It is pretty much a DC type roster. But what I like about it is it's a little bit kick-ass. You know, it's a kick-ass animated kind of show where it gives you more of the brutality and then more of the realistic side. Like what happens when the most powerful man becomes evil, but he shows no mercy, aka Homelander. But maybe I would say Nolan's more brutal, man. More because Nolan. There is one part in episode 2 when he takes out the whole freaking alien race is nuts because for them when they come to Earth, their time is different than ours, right? They're able they leap and bound. They become older faster. You know, for them, 3 days is like an eternity. And they're able to in their home world. So when they come to our world, it's just sped up. It's definitely their age speeds up. But when he goes to their world, how crazy is how he takes all of them out as fast as he can, because he's starting to age too. Like it's vice versa. So, and then he does it. He does it like he has no holds barred, and he just completely destroys a whole alien race. I think the yes, the star is Mark, but the intrigue and the us latching onto is Omni Man. We want to see what the fuck. Like Omni Man is awake right now. He passed out in the first fight. Now he's awake. Like what are his motives? What are his reasonings? What is going on? And then at the end of the third episode, what I really like is the introduction of the Teen Titans of the group. I'm really digging Eve. I like Eve. I like her powers. I like her costume. I think it's funny that she named herself Adam and Eve. When they just call her Eve, so just drop the Adam, right? Of course, there's a little bit of drama with her and her boyfriend. Was it Rex? You have multiple kind of chicks. The chick that could like multiply herself, shadow clone jutsu, herself. And then you have, I really like Robot Man. Zachary Quinto does another solid casting choice for Zachary Quinto because that voice, and I didn't realize it was Zachary until later on. And I looked all this up. I'm like, oh shit, it's Zachary Quinto. No wonder it sounded like it's matched so well with the robot character, because he played Spock and he's a spot on with Spock, pun intended. So that casting was great. So getting to know these characters and getting introduced to Robot forming a new team and bringing in two other characters, like the Beast Girl and the other girl who could shrink like an Ant-Man type deal. Like I said, it's pretty much. I praise this a lot. It's probably one of the best. It is one of the best shows of 2021. Is it the best show? I'm really hyped for it. I'm really excited for next episode. There is another show that I've been watching, Mayans MC, that's really, really great. But so far, Invincible, the difference is Invincible is animated. And yes, it shows in the budget that sometimes like you'll see flying scenes, or you'll see just dialogue scenes of interactions of characters where the you could tell like okay it's a little wonky there. I mean, you could tell that they didn't really invest a lot of money in this particular scene. But then when it does get going and you see fights and you see the big action sequences, they really invest in it, and it looks great. It looks clean. It looks fantastic. The camaraderie. I was really shocked too when we first get introduced to this team with Robot, Rex, and everybody, and Eve, how much of a camaraderie they had, and how much they were like they had strategy, and even though it wasn't working, they were still fighting to the very end. I was very surprised by it. I thought it was going to be just a disaster, especially with Mark involved, and then the second time. But no, it actually really, I really liked the teamwork. I really liked the interactions of a lot of characters. You do get your tropes though, where Mark gets picked on, but then and then also Rex not liking Mark, and then the cheating. Like you see things coming a mile away. But what's done really well is the execution. The execution is phenomenal in the series. Like the charm of it is the dialogue. Like I really like Mark and Eve scenes together. You see a romance kind of blossoming. You see they go on a mission together at one point. Like, and then you see I like the interaction with Cecil and his right hand man. I can't remember his name with the glasses. I thought that's pretty funny. And then anything with Nolan too. Anything with J.K. Simmons and he's whoever he's paired with, it freaking works. I like when he takes Mark to the tailor. Like there's so much stuff to really enjoy, including the music. I think the music's really well handled in this series. There's a lot of there's the recruitment montage. You got your, you've heard that song before. Can't remember the name of it, but it's fit really well in there. There is the flying montage with Eve and Mark, which, or I want to say montage, but the flying aspect of it, and that one was the song choice was great on that. So I think the song choices and the score is pretty well done, especially the brutal fight when Omni Man gets into because it kind of really reminded me of the Dark Knight Rises when Bane versus Batman. It's just so chilling. But and then the end of episode 3, right? So you get established to all these characters. You get established to Robot. You see that Robot is kind of like the new team leader because the whole like all the other members of like kind of like this fake Justice League just dead, and Omni Man's the only one alive, and he's pretty much busy all the time, and so Robot's taking just kind of has to build this new team up. And then seen at the end of episode 3, him releasing those twins, which you see I think they're called the Mahler twins, and it's kind of funny because it starts off like a nice little PG-13 rating in the beginning of episode 1 with these guys versus this like fake Justice League, and then it gets brutal at the end of season 3 because one of them turns on the other, and it's just a bloody hell mess. And then the one who releases them is Robot. So there's a big old twist right there. So I haven't read the comics. I know a little bit what's going to happen. There's a one big character that everybody's hyped on uh, coming pretty soon. So just I know a little bit. I know a little bit what might happen. I don't know what's going to happen next episode. And I'm very intrigued to see what happens next episode. But this series is absolutely should be on your list. Go watch it. It is actually a fantastic series. I'll be doing live reaction videos on for Fridays when every episode they release. I don't know how many episodes is going to happen in season 1. I hear that season 2 is in the works. I hope they keep the same staff, the same behind the scenes people, because this to me is phenomenal. This is a phenomenal start for Invincible. It just absolutely blew my expectations. I'm so invested to these characters. I'm kind of want to see what the hell happens to a lot of them. I can't wait for the big time heart to heart with Omni and Mark and how that's going to go down. So yeah, man, I'm loving this series. This series is A plus plus plus. So check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. It comes out on every Friday. So let me know your guys' thoughts. If you've seen the series, do you like it so far? Are you ready for the next episode? So I'll be covering Invincible, and I also cover a lot of anime, movies, TV, music sometimes. So this channel is built for everything, and whatever piques my interest. And this has been piquing. This is up there, like top list. Can't wait for this episode. I freaking love this series already. Let's see if the momentum can continue. I will not give it a like full rating until the whole season is done, but so far I'm really, really loving A plus plus right now. But thank you guys. I'm Dan Omega, Dan's son. You subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate that. Just let's start building this channel more. Like the video too to support it, and so people could see this and watch it. And then you can find me on Instagram, Dan the Man Reviews, or on Twitch, DMan80528. I'm going to have some videos up on there if you like gaming. So all my gaming videos will be there. Games here and there, so I can't promise every day. But yeah, so Invincible, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. I'm Dan the Man.